title suggests, we have been commissioned to revisit over 175 Sainsbury's stores who have now had their missing metal header frames installed above the chiller cabinets. We appreciate that you may have already revisited some of these stores, perhaps to resolve issues and fit wallpapers and bus stop ears. However, the objective of this programme is to complete each planogram as prescribed and resolve any glaringly obvious faults and issues whilst you are there. Last week we collected from you all the unused or surplus kit of parts from the Phase 1 programme, and have spent time decanting this into bulk stock in the Earlham warehouse. Rather than take a chance, we have assumed that no wallpaper or bus stops were installed first time around, and as such we recreated the original order for each of these stores, but have not picked it to store specific, so the boxes you receive will be bulk packed with handwritten descriptions on boxes that have been recycled, so ignore any store name or number or labels. To help you with your picking, we have attached 2 A3 sheets to your packages, with each store's original order listed. There is a blank column separating each store, so that when you walk into store you can establish what you need, write in the quantities you require, and then pick accordingly from the bulk packs. Whilst the sign-off logically deals with what you completed at each store, it is this A3 pick list that joins the dots to show exactly what you used. You must attach this with your sign-offs upon completion of all your visits and return to Plan to Install in the prepaid envelope. We do recognise that many of you will consider an earlier start to complete these works, for example 2 o'clock, which in theory should ensure the store is open to provide access. However, a phone call is required before visiting to smooth your way in. You should ask for the commercial manager in the first instance and the department or duty manager thereafter. The first questions on your sign-off deal with the outcome of this conversation, and I recommend you also ask whether the additional metalwork has been installed. Attached to each sign-off is a floor plan to enable you to work out how the flow works. You establish as soon as possible whether the flow differs and if the manager has agreed this with head office. Many have done their own layouts, and while Sainsbury's head office do not appreciate this, it is obvious that to blatantly put wallpapers above a different product range only leads to shopper confusion, so work in tandem with the manager. Remember that the sign-off will indicate whether the store has a unique block flow planogram referred to in the A3 book. Remember, when installing wallpaper graphics, you must trim them down so they do not overlap headers or shelf widths. As you can see on the sign-off, you must record the number of wallpaper headers and bus stops you have installed, together with anything else you have been specifically supplied to resolve an outstanding snag, for example a banner or divider fin. Before taking photographs of completed works, ensure a manager confirms in writing his acceptance the job is completed, and do not leave the store without his signature. Do photograph this signature and include it in your upload. Now, we do understand that you may have only installed less than 50% of the original planogram, but new photographs are required for each of the product ranges. For example, one photograph showing 8 bays of ready meals, another of healthy or meat-free, and so on and so forth. If you are any doubt as to what should be installed at store and you have exhausted both the planogram and the group record stores planograms, then discuss your options with John Roberts or Mark Leach at Plan to Install. Reporting on Asset Tracker for the last programme was a success, and most of you came to terms very quickly. However, for this programme we must ensure that all reports and uploading of images are completed no later than 8:30 on the day following your installations. If you are struggling in any way, ring Mark to agree an alternative course of action. But good luck with your installations.